Bom dia, gente. This is Frederick from Portugal. Finding the right region is probably one of the most important tasks that you have to fulfill when you would like to buy something in Portugal. This video is about the north, which is, from my point of view, everything between the Douro River, my point of view, and the Minho, the border river between Portugal and Spain. Number one, pros. It's much more authentic from my point of view. You have less touristic pressure. I mean, you have tourism everywhere in Portugal. It's normal, but I think people are still quite relaxed. They're not so used to a lot of tourism. I think that's something, when you live permanently in Portugal, that's something also you can feel. So I think that's a big pro for being in the north. Also, the second one is it's cheaper. Portugal, compared to other European countries, maybe other Western countries, it's still very cheap. All the prices have gone up, but they're much more mature markets like Lisbon or the Algarve. In the north, you can still buy also new houses or recent houses with good energy ratings between 250 and 300,000 euros. You can always spend more. I think that's a fair deal, and that's something you typically find more often in the north. First, the third one is it's much greener. You have a lot of rain, and it's also maybe a little bit colder, but this is also thanked by nature. In many places in Portugal, you have monoculture, eucalyptus planting, which I think is not so beautiful. Also in Tejo, you have less trees, maybe some cork trees, which is also beautiful, especially in spring. But I think if you like nature, if you like hiking, the north has much more to offer. Number four, Porto is a very good airport. It's modern, it's efficient, and especially if you commute maybe from European countries, you have a lot of direct flights, a lot of low-cost carrier, which bring you also for reasonable prices to Porto. So I think that's a big plus. Also, Porto itself and the airport is well connected if you travel within the north. So I think that's a big pro. And the north also, it's a little bit more populated, but in this sense, and this is number five, you also have much more cities. You have Porto, Braga, but many mid-tier cities like Guimarães or Amarante, Barcelos, which are all independent by themselves, with a little downtown. But if you live there, you have much more variety, because you will not just stay in one town. You can travel around, you can travel to Spain, which I think it's a great plus for the north. And 5.5, I think the food is also better in the north, or much better, because everywhere in Portugal you can eat well. Where are the cons? I already mentioned one, it rains a lot more, definitely. Now having about 20 years of experience of the north in Porto, it rains, and even compared to northern Germany, where I'm originally from, it rains a lot. Just 2 or 3 months, but still, if you don't like rain, and number two, it's also colder, definitely. And in the winter, you can feel the difference much more. And it's like 10, 12 degrees in Porto. You have nice, cozy 50 and 60 degrees sometimes in Faro at the Algarve. And if that's a reason why you would like to live in Portugal, to have really mild winters, the south is a much better option. So you don't have international flights from like the States or South Africa, from transatlantic flights, and they all go to Lisbon. So if you don't like to drive a lot, if you'd like to fly to Portugal and then within half an hour, 1 hour, be at your home, the north is not the good choice, because you always have to take a connection flight between Porto and Lisbon, take the car 3-4 hours, but still you still have to drive, and that's a small downside of the north. Number four, if you get sick very fast because of curvy roads, many areas in the north might be not a good option. There have a lot of curvy areas, and we're not talking about just maybe 1 minute, but maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes of driving like this. I think that's the con of the north. The typical expat community is all a bit more in the south, especially Algarve. A lot of people came in the 80s, 90s. Lisbon has become very cosmopolitan in the last couple of years. So that's something you look for, especially maybe if you come on a D8 visa, a digital nomad visa. And if you like also have a lot of life and connection, go to the cities, also Porto, but Lisbon, the Algarve, that's where you have all the movement from on an international level. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you think I left something else, a pro or con, also put them in the comments. Sign up for our channel. And don't forget, stop surviving, start living. See you in Portugal.